What's up, y'all? What's up? Back once again, you know what I'm saying, with another one. And like I said before I started the video, I want to thank my ancestors, for giving me the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and having me go through all this history and whatnot. And also, I'd like to thank you, the subscriber, for, watching. Hopefully that you learn something or you get something out of this situation. You know what I'm saying? Now, as you know, in Mississippi, there's a runoff. There's a runoff with a woman, you know what I'm saying? She said, she said at a public lynching and shit like that, stuff like that, dog whistling, keyword dog whistling. And, yeah, this thing came out and they had the election in the day. I don't know who won as a thing going on right now. But this is an article that came out. Mississippi Black Republicans stick with Hyde-Smith. So this whole article we're going to read right now and get into. Biloxi, Mississippi. African-American Republicans in Mississippi are standing by Senator Cindy Hyde-Smith in Tuesday's Senate runoff, despite her comment expressing a willingness to attend a public hanging, and equipped that has triggered painful memories in the state history of lynching blacks. I choose to look at it as a possible mistake and chalk it up to that, says John Mosley Jr., an African-American Republican who ran for mayor of Moss Point, Mississippi in 2017. I haven't given it much thought afterward. In nearly a dozen interviews, African-American Republicans said they were taking Hyde-Smith at her word when she said she meant no ill will and no intent whatsoever when she said at a November 2nd campaign stop that if a supporter invited her to a public hanging, I'll be on the front row. I'm a Republican. I support Cynthia Hyde-Smith, said Charles Everett. She didn't say anything about black folks. She didn't say anything about white folks. She said if there's a hanging, I'll be there in the front row or something like that. She didn't mean nothing like that. She was just saying something. I don't give a damn what other people think. Everett is the 96-year-old brother of the late Medgar Evers, an NAACP leader who was assassinated on June 12, 1963, outside his home in Jackson by LeBron D. Larry Beckwith, a member of the White Citizen Council. Two trials in 1964 was on a hung juries. Beckwith was convicted of murder of Evers murder February 5th, 1994. Today's contest is likely to hinge on turnout, which is usually low in runoff elections. Some local and national Republicans are concerned that Hyde-Smith's remarks might energize more African-American Mississippi's to vote. In the November 6th primary, to fill the remaining 2 years of retired Republican Senator Thad Cochran's term, Hyde-Smith received 4% of the black vote, while 1% of the conservative GOP firebrand Chris McDaniels, according to the exit poll. Democrat Mike Exby received 91% of the black vote and 15% of the white vote. About 1/3 of all voters were black. Hyde-Smith public hanging comment, coupled with a later remark about suppressing liberal vote, which he also calls a joke, has turned Tuesday's runoff against Espy, an African American, from what should have been an easy win in a ruby red Republican state, into a potential dramatic battle. Espy still faced daunting odds to overtake Hyde-Smith, but her comments have reduced his chances from probable to possible, political observers say. I am predicting Espy's going to win. No, said Marty Weinstein, the former director of John C. Sennen's Institute of Government at Mississippi State University. But he has a better chance than he had before, and yeah, it's possible he will win. Republicans are worried enough about the outcome that President Donald Trump is traveling to Biloxi and Tupelo on Monday to hold rallies for Hyde-Smith, who has seen King daughters, including the Major League Baseball, to Walmart, seek refunds on their campaign contributions because of her remarks, despite an apology she issued last week. Sidebar: Major League Baseball and Walmart was financing her campaign. There's not even a Major League Baseball team in Mississippi. Think about that. But after several African-American Republicans in the state are standing by Hyde-Smith, saying that controversial comments aside, her conservative political record and her beliefs closely align with theirs. They feel she would be a better partner in the Senate for Trump than Espy, Bill Clinton's former agricultural secretary. Charles Everett, a civil rights activist, made history and became the first African-American to lead a biracial Mississippi town when he was elected mayor of Fayette in 1969. Through a Republican who backed Ronald Reagan and endorsed Trump, Everett said he voted for Democrat Barack Obama in 2008, helping elect the nation's first black African American president. He has no interest in helping SB become the Mississippi's first African American senator since Reconstruction. I think Cindy Hyde-Smith would work more with the president, he said. SB's a friend of mine, and he'd be fighting the president. We don't need a senator that's going to be fighting. The president is a supporter of Mississippi. The Reverend Charles McKinley, a black Republican and a pastor of Jesus Christ Baptist Church in Ocean Springs, said that Hyde-Smith opponents are playing the race card with her comments. It's shameful, said McKinley, who along with his two sons were among the few African Americans in Biloxi Monday. It's an insult to Mississippi for people to say that we had a racist public figure that has served so long and we didn't know she was a racist. Do you think she could have hit it in 3 more weeks? No one believes Cindy is trying to bring black hanging of blacks in Mississippi. Ronina Mitchell, an African-American Republican from Van Cleve, Mississippi, says she was startled and concerned about Hyde-Smith's remarks, especially given Mississippi history of lynching. Of the 4,743 lynchings that occurred in the United States between 1882 and 1968, Mississippi accounted for 581 of them, the most of any state according to NAACP figures. Hyde-Smith's public hanging comment is appalling, Mitchell said, but it won't stop her from voting for the incumbent senator on Tuesday. I am not going to impact my vote, said Mitchell, who unsuccessfully ran for Mississippi State Senate in 2015. We are facing a scenario of Republican versus Democrat and a principle that both parties ascribe to. I'm going to support her regardless of her comments. Mosley's echoed Mitchell's sentiment. I do not believe in this political climate that those were probably the best choice of words, but I choose to stick what I see as a possibility of moving forward. I believe it's going to be Senator Hyde-Smith. Michael Steele, the first African American to head the Republican National Committee, said Hyde-Smith's remark was either a mistake or she was preparing a dog whistle we already heard from Donald Trump on matters of race to stir up passions for the folks who may feel connected to such remarks. 7% of African Americans nationwide identify with Republicans, and black Republicans already face a question about how can they be in a party that critics say opposes diversity cut programs for the neediest. Hyde-Smith's recent remarks have prompted more questions for the African Americans who stick with the Republican Party and back Hyde-Smith. Nick Lott, a Republican who in 2002 was the first African American to be elected Associated Student Body president at the University of Oxford, Mississippi at Oxford, tweeted that comments like Hyde-Smith are the reason why we can't grow the party. My fellow black Republicans, know it is hard enough being black and Republican. Lott, 39, tweeted earlier this month. But don't expect us to explain ridiculous remarks to our communities. Mitchell says she's not going to condemn Hyde-Smith or the Republican Party over poor choices of words. So she said, when do-gooders do bad, it happens, she said. There are many folks in the scripture who do bad things. Well, that's it in the scenario. So some black people still going to vote for her and still back her. But I want the youth and the people to know, many people don't know about Charles Everett, what I'm saying, the things he done. So we're going to take a little quick scenario snap and look at him right quick. All right. What I'm saying? This is from blackpast.org, what I'm saying? And this is when we'll talk about James Charles Everett was born September 11, 1922 in Decatur, Mississippi, to parents Jesse Wright and James Eggers. Growing up in Mississippi during the Jim Crow era, Evers witnessed the effect of racial discrimination and prejudice firsthand. At the age 10, he witnessed a horrific lynching of a black man who was accused of assaulting a white woman. This lynching left a lasting impression on Evers, who vowed, along with his younger brother Megger, to exact change from blacks in Mississippi. At age 17, Evers joined the U.S. Army. He was stationed overseas during World War II, first in Australia, then in the Philippines. When he left the Army in 1946, Evers returned home to Decatur, and during the 1940s, Evers began a lifelong commitment to the civil rights movement when he, along with Megger, organized voter registration drives throughout Mississippi. He enrolled at Alcorn Agricultural Mechanical College, now known as Alcorn State, where he graduated in 1950. While at Alcorn, Everest captained the school football team and was a student body president. During his summers, however, he traveled north to Chicago, Illinois with his brother in search for work. In 1951, Everest married Nanny Laurel and they moved to the town of Philadelphia, Mississippi. Everest found a job teaching history and coaching high school football in the nearby town of Nextpair. Everest left teaching the school when he was taught to and refused to accept a daughter as a student. After a short stint of teaching, Everest engaged in many business pursuits over the next several years. He worked as a funeral parlor director, a cab driver, a disc jockey, even as a bootlegger. Everett was made a National Association of Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, state registration voter chairman in 1954. He remained in Mississippi until 1956 when he was run out of town by angry whites who feared him. Everett's political activism. Everett then moved to Chicago and became a successful nightclub owner and disc jockey and real estate agent. He lived in Chicago until his brother, Medgar, was assassinated in 1963. Upon his return to Mississippi, he took over his brother's position as field director of the NAACP in Mississippi. As field director, Everett organized and led many demonstrations and rights for African Americans. In 1969, Everett was named Man of the Year by the NAACP. In the same year, he won his election as the mayor of Fayette, Mississippi. Everett was re-elected as mayor of Fayette in 1973. After an unsuccessful bid for governor of Mississippi in 1972, he served as mayor until 1981, and again from 1985 to 1989. Everett also ran for U.S. Senate seat in 1978. Over the years, Everett has been an outspoken proponent for rights of African Americans. He also served as an informal advisor to Presidents John Kennedy, Lyndon Johnson, Richard Nixon, and Ronald Reagan. Everett still lives in Mississippi and currently manages the station manager of the radio WMPR 90.1 FM in Jackson, Mississippi. So that's Medgar Evers. Which is kind of crazy. I mean, I don't know what to say about that. You know what I'm saying? But just because that little incident going on today with him and stuff like that, look at his whole swath of work before you call him a coon and all type of stuff like that. He was part of that NAACP that branch he took over was one of the shooting branches of NAACP. They were shooting at him, and the Dinkies of self-defense would get down and do their thing. You know what I'm saying? Opening up Mississippi. Many people don't understand Mississippi was a shooting war. This is really being nice on him. He wanted people leading the charges and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? He did the court. He was just like Robert Williams himself. He even went to Cuba. I think he had to run to Cuba for some off the wall stuff. So because he haven't had to fight a couple cases. You know what I'm saying? So before y'all start getting on him, calling him a coon and stuff like that, I just wanted to put that out there. You know what I'm saying? So y'all can know the man and the stuff he did. Because he was like kind of similar like Robert F. Williams. And the true fact, and a lot of books on it, Mississippi during this time was a shooting war in the civil rights movement. They kind of, colored it up or whatever, Anyway, that's the Iskosi Fun Day. I hope y'all enjoy. Subscribe to the channel, man. Much love to y'all for paying attention and stuff like that. And I hope y'all learned something. Hey, peace.